What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you are on the podcast platforms right now, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you are on YouTube, I would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button as well as that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's just go ahead and brighten up the place and let's get into this podversation. All right, so we know that the news broke a few days ago that in the trial of the state of California, the people versus Tory Lanez, it was not Megantheestallion or Megan, whatever her real last name is, which I believe is Pace, versus Tory Lanez. He was found guilty. He was found guilty on all of the charges, okay? And there were some people that were celebrating. There were some people that were stunned. And to be honest with you guys, with myself, I wasn't following the case. I don't listen to any of these people's music. I saw what I saw in the news over the past couple of years. I believe this happened in 2020 during the height of the pandemic and all of the stuff that was going on with the protests going on with George Floyd and police brutality and just a number of different things that was going on in the news. So when this story broke, there were things happening over the past couple of years with this one doing a live video, this one putting a song out, this one making innuendos and making sly comments on social media posts and this person making a song and putting Meganthestallion's, referencing her in the song and just a number of different things that have gone on over the past couple of years. And then there were a lot of people that were calling Meganthestallion's character into question and whether this verdict was accurate, whether this should have happened, whether this was a miscarriage of justice, and all of these different things that were being flown around and said and different social media posts and different videos and all of that good stuff, right? I'm not here to talk about really any of that. I will say, though, that I am a believer, that I believe she was the victim of something that should not have ever happened. Whether her character was good or bad, whether she was a nice person, a nasty person, that shouldn't happen to anybody, okay? Was it intentional? The law doesn't really care about that. And that's the thing that I think some people fail to understand or remember. They don't usually differentiate in terms of whether someone goes off scot-free or they get charged. There may be different charges, whether it was intentional or whether it was unintentional. So you've heard of voluntary and involuntary, the different terms and phrases come into play for different reasons, but rarely will you ever hear in the justice system where they will just let someone off scot-free and say, oh, well, they didn't mean anything by it, or they were drunk, or they were just having a bad day, or this person was on their period, or this person was pissed off. They just lost their mother. They just lost their uncle. They just lost their baby. Like, they don't give people passes to say, well, you know what? They were having a hard day, so we're just going to let them off the hook completely. So I think people fail to realize that. So when it comes to whether he intentionally did it or not, I don't think that even really matters. Something happened that never should have happened. A gun was discharged. She was injured. The extent of the injuries and all of that good stuff, it just doesn't even really matter. I think a lot of people were just calling a lot of things out with regards to this criminal case and whether things should have went down the way that they did based on a number of different factors that really didn't matter, okay? But I'm going to play this clip. This is actually Tory Lanez's father and stepmother who were outside of the courtroom, and this actual footage / audio is from the Armand Wiggins show on YouTube. I'm subscribed to his channel. I did follow his commentary amongst a few other people when they were following the case and going to the courthouse and giving the rundown about the things that happened. Just out of mere curiosity, I wasn't that into the case, but when the verdict came down and he was reporting on it, I paid attention. And this part really struck me. So I want to play the audio from this video to let you listen to it. And then I'm just going to continue with my commentary.
In this country, and I'm calling on all the umbrellas, I'm calling on everybody in this country to begin to rise up because your sons have been done dirty. It's not over. God does not lose. Never. And even though we've come to this juncture, trust me, you will see that our God does not fail.
This is not the
I know that this is wickedness. This district attorney, Miss Kathy Tarr, is the same one that witnessed or knew that 5 sheriff's deputies in LA County beat up a Spanish man with the last name Carrillo until the guy was beaten to and passed out. ABC News interviewed that man after Eyewitness News, and he said, I thought I would never be here to see my child born, and I would never been able to be around to see my other child rise up. But I'm telling you, this court system is not for justice. It's about wins and losses, and they do dirty to do whatever they can. Jay Z, let me speak to you.
He has kids.
RocNation,
Yes.
because my son refused to sign a RocNation deal with you.
Yes.
And Desiree Perez, you wicked witch, you snitch.
Yes.
You turned on your co-conspirators, all the whole mafia, one of you that was peddling drugs in this country, and you ruled on them before so the Fed could give you a deal. All of you, trust me, I have intercessors, prayer warriors around the world, and they will not stop until you are cut off. No, we don't shoot you with guns, but we know exactly how to bring you down in the spirit.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. So you heard Tory Lanez's father calling on the prayer warriors and the intercessors that he has praying for his son and this miscarriage, he said greatest miscarriage of justice that happened. He's got his prayer warriors and intercessors just going in for the sake of his son, who made a conscious decision to be careless, reckless, I assume drunk, and live recklessly and carelessly, sleeping around with multiple women, being angry. Like, this is not the first report of him being angry with someone and going off and being violent. Okay. And I'm not even saying this just about Megantheestallion, although Megantheestallion in this situation, she was the victim because this never should have happened. But her living recklessly as well, sleeping around, getting drunk, being belligerent, all of these people. The thing that I don't really hear a lot of people saying, but I'm not listening to everyone, so of course it doesn't mean that no one else is saying it, but I'm going to be talking about it right now. As much as Tory Lanez's father wanted to get in front of that courthouse and call out Jay Z, call out RocNation, call out whoever the other people were that he was calling out, the prosecutor, these people that are wicked and snitches and all of this other stuff, how saintly and righteous are you? Because I know we can pray for people, we can hope for the best, we can want them to make better choices for their life, but do you really believe that it was God's desire for your son to be living the type of lifestyle that he was living? Just sleeping around, being reckless, being belligerent, being drunk, being violent. It was reported that he was violent against August Alsina and some other situations that were reported about, right? And so this isn't his first rodeo. It may be with a situation with a gun and where he got arrested, but he definitely isn't innocent, okay? And that's not to say that God doesn't have mercy and give grace, because he definitely does all the day long, every single day. But there is a law of sowing and reaping. you reap what you sow. When you are out here sowing harmful, negative seeds, you will reap a harmful, negative harvest. The Bible even says so. So for his dad to be out in front of that courthouse yelling and screaming the way that he was, if you get in your emotions like that, you may have sat there and felt something and said, oh, you know what? He's preaching today. He's talking right. But in actuality, he really isn't. God has nothing to do with that. Your son made some terrible decisions, and he's going to have to pay the consequences for it. Whether you believe that it should have been ruled in that way or not, that's the justice system. And yeah, the justice system definitely can be wicked in so many different ways, but more often than not, the justice system is rigged more in the favor and on the side of those like his son who have status, who have money, who have some sort of fame. But they shouldn't be above the law. And Megantheestallion, although she was the victim in this situation, if she had made some better decisions as well, she would have never been in that situation either. Not saying that she deserved to get harmed, and that's definitely not what I'm saying. But the whole point of what I'm speaking about in my conversation is about responsibility and personal accountability. I've even said before in a conversation where I discussed how people are not giving Megantheestallion grace for her losing her mother and her grandmother. She's not really having those people that are older than her that can mentor her and guide her the way that she truly needs. Those people that are going to be down for her and care for her and love her no matter what, versus her having management through RocNation, which in all actuality, for them, it's all about money. I'm not saying that no one doesn't care about her at all, but let's just be real. Let's be honest. For them, it's about the dollar and the bottom line. And I could have missed something, but I haven't seen any tweets of support from RocNation or Jay Z or even Beyonce for that matter in favor of Megantheestallion either, you know? So she doesn't, from what I know, she doesn't have that. But even with that being said, I give her, it doesn't matter what I give her, but I'm just saying I give her that grace and space because I know that she needs that and she doesn't have it. But the world that we live in, they don't care. They don't give you that grace and space. And especially her being a female and an African-American female, she's pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to people really caring about her feelings. So we have to take accountability and personal responsibility for ourselves and making sure that we're making the right decisions and the right choices. And there is innate within us, especially as females, there is a spirit of discernment and there's a voice that speaks within us to warn us against certain decisions that we may choose to make. And I believe that if she listened that evening, that she probably would not have been where she was leading up to getting to the place where what happened to her happened. And the same for Tory Lanez. I believe that there was something within him, innate within him, speaking to him about making better choices and not even going over to Kylie Jenner's mansion and not going from there to wherever they were going. I believe that, especially seeing now that he has a father who claims to be this prayer warrior and is out there calling on the name of God, I believe that this is a man that was praying for his son all along. Now, I also believe that he was benefiting from the lifestyle that his son was able to offer to him via the career that he chose and that he was profiting off of. So there's that as well. So all around, from his parents to Tory Lanez to Megantheestallion and all of the other people that were in this situation, it all comes down to personal accountability and responsibility. People really can't be out here so distraught and disappointed that what happened to Tory Lanez happened to Tory Lanez. He did this. He was not set up like some people are trying to claim. He was in the situation and he did what he did. He wasn't set up, period. And don't use that word in the way that a setup really should be used, where you absolutely didn't do anything at all, and somehow, in some way, people got you to this place and drugged you or something, and you were passed out, and they put your fingerprints on the weapon and fired the weapon, and then it, turns out that you had nothing to do with it, but because of the situation, how you were quote unquote set up, people are now putting the blame on you, and now you've been found guilty in the trial. Like, no, it's not that type of situation. So that saying, that phrase needs to really be nixed in the situation. He wasn't set up. He made bad decisions. He made bad choices, period. And he has to pay for those consequences. It's possible that during some sort of appeal down the line, he may get less time. He hasn't been sentenced yet. We don't know what the time is going to be. We're hearing all of these things right now, and it's quite possible, not saying that it is possible, but it is possible that he may not even get any time behind bars, and he might get probation and not even extradited, but lose his ability to stay in the States and has to be whatever the word is, back to his native country, which is Canada. So we don't know yet, but he made some bad decisions and some bad choices. And yeah, definitely so did Megantheestallion. All of these people made decisions to do things that they were doing. And sometimes it's a way. God does not make these situations happen, but I believe what God tries to do in these bad situations and bad circumstances that happens in people's lives is to try to wake them up so that they can see the error of their own ways, wake up to themselves, and choose better decisions moving forward. So I would hope and pray that Tory Lanez's father would switch his prayers around, where he's sitting and calling out wicked people and snitches and RocNation and Jay Z, and start praying for his own son and say, you know what? My son made some terrible decisions, and now this is where it got him. And I hope and pray that he will come out of what he's been living in and make better decisions and choices for his life moving forward after his period of being sat down, and he can just reflect on his life and see the decisions that he has made, and hopefully he will make better decisions moving forward and not go back into what he was in before. That's what I would say. And it's all about, again, taking personal accountability and personal responsibility, and not pointing the fingers and placing the blame on everyone else, because that's also a problem when it comes to not just adults in the United States of America, but it's a lot of that here. We do definitely tend to point the fingers. There's been a lot of victim blaming in this situation and victim shaming, and it's just really sad. But even with that victim blaming and victim shaming that should not be there, I do agree that, yeah, Megantheestallion, she hopefully will be taking personal accountability and personal responsibility if she has not done so yet, and continues to do so, getting help, seeking therapy, really getting to a place where she is taking the time out to reflect on the decisions that she has made and make better decisions for her life moving forward. Because before you know it, you're 50 years old and you're halfway done with your life. If you make it to 100, a lot of people don't make it there, but a lot of people do. So you don't want to be 50 years old and still twerking and talking about how you slept with this one and slept with that one. Again, I don't listen to any of her music. It's not my forte. It's not my taste. And I'm just saying, you get to a stage in your life where you just have to mature and grow up. And this is how she's making her money right now. But I also believe that the majority of the money that she's making is not even with her music. It's from endorsements and brand deals and doing CoverGirl commercials or Maybelline or whatever makeup company it was, and that she's doing and doing the other things that she's had the opportunity to do to make money. So I digress. I really would love to know what you guys think about this. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.